Hi, my name is Becky Peters, and I'm teaching your son or daughter in either chemistry, college prep chemistry, or ChemCom this semester. I've been a teacher with the Cocalico School District in the high school specifically since the fall of 1994, so I've been here for a couple of years, and I actually have, hate to say it, some parents right now who are former students of mine. So if that's you, hello. I have my Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Secondary Education, and I earned that from the Indiana University of Pennsylvania. And I started a master's program in technology education several years ago at Millersville University. A couple of things about the chemistry course that your son or daughter might be enrolled in. If your son or daughter is in my ChemCom class, then just a little bit of an overview of the curriculum. We start with the atom and talk about the atom and from the perspective of how to describe certain things. So we talk about matter and we talk about the different types of changes. We talk about how to categorize different things and make observations that are detailed. We move from that into compounds. We take a really thorough look at compounds in terms of the differences between molecular and ionic. From compounds, we move to chemical reactions or chemical equations, where your children will learn how to write a chemical equation and then balance it. After that, we will move into gas laws and mathematics that are involved with the different types of characteristics that are used to measure gases. If there's time left, we'll go into electron configurations, and that leads to why and how atoms bond together to make compounds. If your child is in my college prep chem class, then we start with the atom and move into compounds. From compounds, we examine chemical reactions, not only writing them and balancing them, but also talking about the 5 different types of reactions so that your son or daughter can classify them by simply being given the reactant side, and then they can predict the products as well. From there, we move into the concept of the mole, and the mole is a way that we count atoms and molecules, so we start doing some math with that. Once we've mastered the information and conversion factors that are related to the mole, we move from that into something called stoichiometry, which is where we do mathematics with the mole, but it's also involving, at this point in time, chemical equations and reactions. So the mathematics, actually the foundation for the problems we have comes from balanced equations. After the unit on stoichiometry, we take a look at gas laws and do a lot of mathematics with the behavior of gases and different ways to find certain variables that are used to measure gases. Following that, we take a look at the way that different compounds bind to each other or bond, and in order to best understand that, the students are going to learn about electron configurations. In other words, the way that the electrons are positioned in the electron cloud, not just the outermost shell, for those of you that are familiar with this, but also the ones that are on the inside. And usually that's where we end the course. So that's a little bit of an overview on the curriculum for the 2 courses that I teach. The other information that I'd like to share with you, but I'm not really officially sharing it with you, your child can share this with you because it'll be more effective and useful this way, are the classroom expectations, rules, and my grading policies and procedures. And all of you should have seen a document that's more than 1 page stapled together entitled Mrs. Peters' Law, Rules for the Chemistry Classroom. In fact, that came home with your child after the first day of our class together, and their assignment was to have their parents read and sign the document so that you understood, what the grading policies were, what the rules were, what the classroom expectations are, and things of that nature. It's all contained in that document. If you don't remember so much that information, it's accessible. If you ask your child to go back into Schoology, into the Unit 1, Day 1 folder, you should find the Mrs. Peters Law complete document there in electronic form. If for some reason it's not in the Day 1 folder, it will be in the Day 2 folder. And if you have any questions about any of that, certainly go ahead and contact me. I can be contacted. Email is probably the easiest way to snag me because I can only do phone calls during my free time, which is just one point of the school day, one part of the school day. And so my email address is all lowercase letters, Becky_Peters@cocalico.org. I try really hard to get back to you within the same day that you send me an email. And I just want to end by saying it's a privilege to be able to teach in this school district. I think that Cocalico is probably the best school district that I've ever been in, and the kids here are absolutely wonderful. It's a joy teaching here. Thanks for your time, and again, if you have any questions, just get in touch.